Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So in today's episode we are looking at how we can create an entertainment space within the garden. This may be adding features such as a pond, a bar, seating areas and that kind of thing. We're also going to be looking at how we place plants in the space as well and how the flow of the space can work. So I will give you a little bit of a insight into when I've created this. So when we moved into the house in 2016, there was literally grass that went right up to the back door of the house. So it was a complete blank canvas, and that gave us the opportunity to really work out the size of patio that we would like to have here. Now, I've done a lot of the work myself, which has saved a huge amount of money. And when I was looking at designing this space, I was thinking about the size of sort of tables and chairs and things like that that we were going to place on the patio and how much room we would need. And features like, for instance, if we were having like a barbecue or something like that, could we seat enough people in the space without it kind of flowing into other areas? Now, as you know, over the years, I've changed all the planting in my garden to a tropical style. And generally what this means is, particularly with entertainment spaces, is that when you're seated within that space, you want to be surrounded by all of the amazing plants, giving that kind of jungle exotic feel to it. I would say generally I am not the type of person that really goes in for pots and containers, but I do obviously have quite a few on my patio. The reason why I generally don't like pots and that is that they tend to add quite a lot of extra work to the garden. So they involve lots of watering generally and potting on and those kinds of things. But on the patio area, they can be really useful because as you use the patio space, you can actually rearrange the plants within that space to give you more room. And if the flow of where people kind of walk and sit and sort of hang out changes, it does give you that option. Also, having things in pots means that you can move them inside or in a greenhouse or in a garage or something in the wintertime to protect them from severe frost. And obviously, yeah, having them in the pots means that you can actually do that. So that's one of the reasons why here I have quite a few pots on my patio area only. And in the winter, it's obviously quite bare in this section. So there's obviously the table and chairs still stay out. So during the COVID lockdown in 2020, I installed this pond next to the patio. It was a flower bed here in the past, which was okay, but a little kind of boring. But I wanted to add a pond to basically bring wildlife into the garden. And I also knew that I wanted the pond quite close to the back of the house, mainly because you can actually see all the birds coming down to drink. And it just means that you can actually see the pond that you've kind of created. So it has evolved over the years. You've got the main kind of pond here with various pumps in it, and we have waterfalls here, which just give that sense of kind of movement, which is really important to have. Now, it's surrounded by quite interesting planting. So we've got a eucalyptus, we've got banana plant, we've got Trachycarpus fortunii, and the waggy palms in the pots there at the back, framing the back area of the garden there. Textures again, we've got interesting sized boulders, which kind of like it means that the pond is slightly raised up, but in a very natural way. So they go kind of like halfway around the pond, and then we've got the sand in the background, which is the kind of beach area that enables wildlife to get in and out really easily. Now, because this is generally quite a shady area, you'll see there's quite a few ferns over the back and the fattiers. So the flow of the actual back area here, our back doors are on the right hand side there, so we've got bifolds that basically enable you to open it up at the back there and use the entertainment space. So essentially, when the bifolds are fully open, it creates an amazing kind of picture view through from the back of the house. So this is our dining room area, and as we go out, we have the pond on the left hand side there, the view that goes down the centre of the garden there, framed by the pot, and then we have the seating area, which this furniture was fairly new this year. We did have some L-shaped kind of sofa type ones before, so I've had to rearrange the space a little bit with the pots and everything. But again, as I said, that was easy to achieve because of the pots are easily movable. In the background there, you'll see that I have created a bar, which I basically built from scratch. And I think it was about 4 years ago I built that now. And that was built from an image that I saw on the internet. So that's where I got the kind of design for it. And then it was just a case of building the frame and cladding it. So on the patio area, I've got various types of palms. We've got Brahmatas, we've got sago palms, we've got Washingtonia robustas, and there's a small dwarf banana at the back there. So we've got a couple of seating areas. We've got that seating area that I just showed you with a large round table. And then we've got a bistro style set, which sits in this space here. And it effectively creates a snug. The troughs that I've got just with the bamboo there, so they're nice and deep for the root systems, and that creates a kind of a wall which separates the bistro kind of snug area from the main bar area. So as we come around to the bar, which are called the Rusty Fish, this was all built by hand, as I say. Lots of drinks, and there is the Rusty Fish at the top there. And we've got like little olive trees and various bamboos. And this is the view from the bar. So you can see there's the seating area, the main one that we use. And this joins on to the bottom of the Mediterranean walk, which goes up to the spa area. So in the bistro area, we've also got an Enseti banana at the back there, which is done really, really well. Surrounded by all different types of planting here. Here we have the pineapple lilies. So if we sit in one of the seats to enjoy the view, lovely blue sky today. So it is private space from the main seating area, which is intentional. But as I say, it's more of a snug area. So when you're seated in the main kind of seating area there, you can kind of hear the pond in the background and just about see it. And then you've got the view around the garden surrounded by lots of different types of palm trees on there. Now the patio is made from Indian sandstone. It's just a grey variant there. It was pretty easy to install, lots of kind of concrete and that underneath it just to give it a firm base. But we are on chalk here, so that obviously helps as well. So when we look at the actual flow of the space, obviously from the back of the dining room, there's an easy flow out to the seating area over here. The walkway that takes you to the Mediterranean walk. This is a little bit of a pinch point at this place here, but not too bad unless you've got a lot of guests. And again, you've got the width of the actual walkway on the Mediterranean walk there that kind of determines the amount of people that can use it at the same time. And there's also a little bit of a pinch point here as you go to the bar area. But even on the NGS, which is the National Garden Scheme opening, we got quite a lot of people, but the space flowed really, really well. Now the courtyard garden is just through the other side of this trellis area. There's a gate through there. So again, it's a narrow point going through there, but it works well for what we actually need it to work for. So the main thing really is, I would say, try and make the patio area a reasonably good size so that you can add pots to it. And you might, if you buy extra kind of furniture in the future, like you might buy some sun loungers or other chairs or that kind of thing, you need space to actually lay that out. So remember that you can, even if you patio over like a large area, you can still use large planters and pots to basically soften the area. But obviously, if you make the patio too small, you're going to have to always kind of extend it on there. So yeah, this particular design is quite a natural design. It's not too heavy on the landscaping, like it's not surrounded by loads of walls and things like that. There is a little bit of hard landscaping just round to the side here, so you've got pebbles and the grey kind of blocks, slate type blocks, which match in with the rest of the garden. And obviously in the pots as well, I've used a smooth black pebble to basically give it a nice kind of, the black look actually means that any plants against the black will pop. So it's good for pots and it's good for the kind of mulch that you put on there. And still part of the patio area, but just sort of tucked around the corner. There's a tiny little flower bed here, which is probably about 1.5 meters long and about 0.5 meters wide. And the idea behind this is just to soften the corner. Where the gate is at the back here, you don't really need that to be all patioed off. So it's just a way of softening the space. And even since then, I've added these two pots. So we've got a pseudopanax there, and I think a Livingstone chilensis, I think it is, the Chinese fan palm. So yeah, it's a nice little kind of border just to the side as well, and just around you've got all of on this side. It's quite tall actually. We have a Mahonia soft caress, which is absolutely huge. Been in probably about 8 years, so that's why that one's so big. So to sum it up, it basically, the patio area, it adds to the pond for interest and it's a focal point, and we have the planters to soften all the hard landscaping, and then we have the bar area that's used to obviously serve drinks and cake and stuff from, which is really good, and two different types of seating area, a bigger one for more guests and a more intimate space for a couple of people just to enjoy a cup of tea. Hope you found the video helpful. Don't forget to check out my other videos on the arid garden, the little courtyard garden, and the areas like the jungle clearing fire pit area. I've got a few videos of talking about all the different zones within the garden. They've all got a slightly different feel about them. So please check out those ones. Please don't forget to subscribe and click the like button, and I'll see you guys on the next video.